of what is going on. And that I will do, by the way, because I have a responsibility also. You know, I'm elected. And going forward in the next few weeks, I'll be talking to my supporters and telling them what's going on, what is being planned, what is likely to happen, so that they are aware. You see, we are elected by the people. We have a responsibility to always inform your employer what is going on, so that they know, so that they are aware of what is going on, because people wonder what is going on. We have a responsibility as leaders to inform the people, because they are the ones who have given us this job. I was not given these jobs by the president. I was not given by members of parliament. The president nominated me and proposed to me for confirmation by the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya, by a popular vote, confirmed President William Ruto's nominee, Gachagua, as the right person for the job.
Right.
But the people who gave me this job are the people of Kenya. And therefore, if there are issues along the way that I find disturbing, that I find that they can cause political instability in this country, that I find they can be intrusive, and they can disrupt our development agenda, they can disrupt our political stability as a country, I have a responsibility to go to the people who voted for me and explain to them exactly what is happening. And that I'll do. And I have started today, and I'll be doing that along the way, because I am answerable to some people. I cannot just sit here in Karen. Meetings are going on at night. You know, people are being intimidated, people are being coerced, you know, to disrupt, you know, my term, to stop me from doing my work. And I just sit here. I cannot. I'll go to the people and say, good people, you gave me the job. Are you happy with what I've done so far? Yes or no?
Okay.
If you have a problem you want me to correct, but my people, this is what is being planned. And it is so and so who is planning it. So when you see it happen, please know this is what is going on.
Deputy President, I take note that you keep going back to that conversation about the meetings and the plans that are being made. Do you think the President knows about those meetings?
Well, I don't know whether he knows, but many people in those meetings quote him, but he's not there. So I have no confirmation.
How do you know they quote him?
No, it is reported to me. They say, they invoke his name, that he is the one who has authorized those meetings. But since he's not in those meetings, I cannot accuse him. But the truth of the matter is, the way we work as UDA, as Kenya Kwanza, any motion of impeachment in the National Assembly to remove the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya will never find its way to the House unless the President approves. That's how we work. Any contentious issue that comes to the National Assembly, the finance bill, this and that, the President will call a PG and say, this is our agenda, can you go and prosecute it? So, even as people are planning, if that motion will ever find itself to the House, it will have to get the approval of President William Ruto. So it will be his motion, because he'll have to approve it. So since we have not reached there, I don't want us to say anything about it. Okay. But that is the truth, because we have a way we work. That is a very heavy matter. It is not a matter that can be taken to the floor of the House unless the President has given a nod. And
on that specific matter of alleged impeachment, have you spoken to the President about it?
I spoke to him once, and he said he has not heard about it, and he doesn't know about it, and according to him, he said it's foolish. And nobody can try something like that because it can destabilize the country. That's what he told me in his own words. And thereafter, there was a meeting. He called members of parliament, and the matter stepped down. The matter has come up again. I have not asked him again. When I get an opportunity, when he comes back, I'll raise the matter again with him. I will say, Mr. President, a meeting was held here, this was said. A meeting was held here, this was said. What do you have to say about it? Mr. President, do you want us to destabilize this country? Are you part of it? What they are saying, the President will pronounce himself on the matter. But I want to say that there is no motion of impeachment against the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya that can find itself on the floor of the House unless the President of the Republic of Kenya gives a nod. Okay. And again, even if it was to go there, nobody else has the capacity to push it through. It's only the President himself. There is nobody else who can. Getting 233 members of parliament, it's only him who can push it through. But that's another discussion for another day.
Don't you think that's a problem? Because the Constitution of Kenya has separation of powers between the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. Are you admitting that parliament is controlled by the President?
What I'm saying in Matter Kenya Kwanza, UDA, serious contentious decisions are agreed in a PG convened by the president. You saw the finance bill, he's the one who was driving it. So that tells you the way our PG works. Anything contentious, anything with serious national implications will have to get the nod of the president.
And I understand the political party democracy, but are you comfortable that a House business must get a nod from the president, including a clause on oversighting the deputy president, in this case, invoking Article 150
well,
of the
that is the
Constitution?
reality of our Kenyan politics.
Do you see a problem there?
That is the reality, that all major decisions, all legislative agenda for our administration that needs to go to the National Assembly, the president normally does a lot of lobbying, sits with the members of parliament, takes them through, gives the points for or against, and asks them to support. That has been the practice. And it did not start with the President William Ruto. It's as old as history. Because every government has a legislative agenda. So the president will call his PG and whip his members into a certain direction.
You know, you sat in parliament the previous, last term. Would you have been okay for President Uhuru Kenyatta to control how you are going to make decisions in the House?
Well, in matters government agenda, it is right, because the party that is in power has a responsibility to ensure that the president and his administration succeeds. And they have a responsibility to support his legislative agenda. So it is important that once in a while, when there is important matters of government before the House, the president will convene a meeting and persuade his members why they need to support that legislative agenda, and he will whip them into action. There's nothing wrong with the president whipping his people in a certain direction.
So when is the last time you got instructions from the president
On
executing your mandate in terms of assisting him?
No. I have clear duties given by the president in Executive Order number 1 of 2023.
Yep.
The president doesn't give me day-to-day instructions. I have many functions that I do, very many, by the way, and one of them is any other duties assigned by the president. That is the one now is on day-to-day.
So when is the last time you got such kind of an assignment?
I think I was in Nyeri, agricultural show last Friday to represent him. I was in Mombasa the other week to represent him in the agricultural show. Those are functions assigned to me by the president.
Okay.
On a day-to-day basis.
Okay, all right. And that weekend, particularly on Sunday, you were expected at an AIPCA church event that the president was attending. Instead, we saw you at the Our Lady of Sorrows in Kirinyaga. Why didn't you show up for the other event?
No, I think people talk from ignorance. There were two functions.
Yes.
That the president was expected to attend, one in Kirinyaga and one in Nyeri. Two functions. They were in his diary, and aligned my diary with the president's diary. And therefore, I was in Kirinyaga to receive him. When I was in Kirinyaga, I was informed that he had changed and he would attend a function in Nairobi. So I purposed to attend the one in Kirinyaga and join him in Nyeri later. But the function I attended was the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church Mass takes 2 hours and can never be interrupted. So I sat through the Mass. By the time the Mass was over, the president was already in Nyeri. Okay? So I could not leave the Mass halfway and go to Nyeri. So I decided now that the president is already in Nyeri. Even if I left Kirinyaga and tried to fly to Nyeri, I'll find he's leaving. So it will not make sense. So I decided to stay in Kirinyaga and represent him. By the way, he was the chief guest in Kirinyaga, and there was even a plaque. So I sat through, and even the presidential dais was there. I sat there throughout, you know. But I think some people, some mischievous people in Nyeri who works around the president, put an empty chair, knowing very well I'm in another function, and took photographs just for mischief. You know what happens in the presidency. There's a lot of mischief around.
You say mischief, but that seat was next to the president.
Yeah, it was there. But everybody, my protocol people said I'm in Kirinyaga. So it was unnecessary to put a chair there that is empty when I'm not there. I was in Kirinyaga, and everybody knows I'm in Kirinyaga. So they should have removed the chair or get somebody else who
have you confirmed that you'd be in the Nyeri event?
Yeah.
Had you confirmed that you...
Yes, I had confirmed I'm in Nyeri.
So it is in order for them to put a chair
No,
there?
no, but we give information that we cannot make it. The minute the president arrived, before I left Kirinyaga, it was logistically not possible for me to go to Nyeri.
We have information that part of the reason why I didn't go to Nyeri is because you got intel that there are people who had been organized to heckle you.
No, your intel is wrong. Nyeri is my home. Even if there was anything in Nyeri, how can I not go to my home? Nobody, for the avoidance of doubt, can heckle me in Nyeri, in the Mount Kenya region. Nobody. I attend all functions.
Yep.
I attend all functions, and I don't need to organize anything.
Okay.
So that intel you have is wrong, is mischief. I was in a function in Kirinyaga, and everybody saw me. Your people are there throughout the mass. So I don't know why people want to decide for me.
So who represented the message of the president at the Kirinyaga mass?
In terms of?
The president's message.
In terms of what?
His contribution.
There was no Harambe. We did not go for Harambe.
What did the governor of Kirinyaga say?
She said the president has given us some money, which is okay. There's no problem.
Don't you think you should be the person to deliver such a message?
Well, that's the decision of the president. I cannot decide for the president what he wants to do with his money. That is his money. I have no right to ask the president to give me his money to take where he wants to take it. If the president was to send Anwar Iguru to a meeting where I am with his money and not send me, that is his decision, and we must respect it.
Does that show a good working relationship between the president and the
I don't know. I don't read much out of it.
You don't?
Because I was not going for Harambe. I had not talked to the president, so he did not send me. I just went for mass and was there to receive him. But if he has decided to send somebody else with his money for a function in my presence, that's a decision the president makes.
Okay.
It used to happen all the time during the time of Uhuru Kenyatta. All the time that was happening, William Ruto as deputy president would be there. Somebody else would turn up with condolences and read when he's there. You know, I think these things.
And there was a problem that time.
If I don't know whether President William Ruto had a problem with it, I don't have a problem.
He made it clear that there was a problem.
If he had a problem with it,
you actually spoke about it yourself.
I don't have a problem with it myself.
You don't have a problem with it. Okay, but you have also been missing in several functions, including even receiving the president as he came back from Germany. You have always gone to the airport to receive him. This time around, we didn't see you. We saw the Interior Cabinet Secretary.
What has happened, Sam, is that I always align my diary with that of the president all the time. And as long as I am aware of his functions, I align accordingly. So sometimes, if I'm not aware, I'm not able to align because I also have my own program.
What does that mean? You were not aware he's coming back?
I was not aware of the time. Okay, so what has happened is that I think 2 days, I think about a week ago.
Okay.
I think about a week ago, we have a diary for the president where I am there, my private secretary is there, my chief of staff is there, and all his issues are there. So we align. I think about a week ago, we were removed from that diary, you know. So we are not able to follow exactly what is going on. So we are not able to align. But when we are informed of what is happening, like yesterday when I was in, I went to Lamu.
Yeah.
For the funeral of the deputy governor of Lamu.
Yep.
Who is a good friend of mine, and I am also in charge of intergovernmental coordination, so matters devolution are my purview. When I was there, a letter came that I am needed at State House for the swearing in of the Inspector General of Police, but I was already in Lamu.
Yeah.
So it was not logistically possible for me to leave Lamu and attend. So when I'm aware of where the president is, at what time, I'm always there. If I am not aware, then there's nothing I can do about it.
All right, Mr. Deputy President, we'll be taking a short break, but you come back to that particular part that you're talking about. You no longer have the visibility of the diary, but of course you're watching the conversation with the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, that is Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. We'll be back shortly with this conversation on so many other issues, including the new look government and what the mandate of the Office of the Deputy President is and what he has been doing about it. Stay tuned. that you had in the city?
What I am saying is that it is everybody's knowledge that I'm a truthful person. And many people are uncomfortable with that truth. When I raised that matter of Wakulima market, I was called all sorts of names, including being called a tribalist. Given the fact that majority of the people in that market come from my community, matter beyond my control. And it was assumed that I'm talking because probably they come from my community. Far from it. In that market, there are traders from all communities.
Yeah.
And when I bring these matters to light, many people have a problem with me. And the fact that I insist all the time that we honor pre-election pledges, there are things that we promise the people. We went there with Governor Sakaja and promised the people of that market that under our administration, their business can only flourish. It cannot become worse. We agreed that our administration will never oversee demolitions and evictions. Those traders were being evicted there about 10 years ago in a very brutal manner. And I talked about it. And many people are uncomfortable with that. And what I'm saying is that anybody who has a problem with my conduct, you go and report me to my employer. My employer are the people of Kenya. These are the people who employed me. Go to them and say, well, regarding Gachagua, Deputy President is becoming a nuisance. He's complaining that you people are being harassed. We want to report him to you and ask him to shut up. And he shouldn't keep on bickering and saying that you people are being mistreated. That's what I was saying. Those are my employers. You go and report me to them.
You said that the people that trade in Wakulima market are not necessarily from one community. But then again, in some of those instances, you spoke in your mother tongue,
Yes,
Kikuyu.
I did.
And some are using that to say that you're being a tribal leader.
I did. I spoke in my mother tongue. When I looked for votes for Governor Sakaja, I spoke in mother tongue. He didn't have a complaint. He was quite happy. He was all smiles. You see, some communication is not what you say, is being understood. You talk to a people, to a language that they understand better. When I was looking for votes for President William Ruto, for Governor Sakaja, in meetings where the majority are people from my community, I spoke in my mother tongue. I don't know why people are having a problem. Now that elections have been won, when I speak to people in the language I used to speak to them when we were looking for votes. What was good then is still good today.
But that time you were not deputy president. Now you are a national office. The
But
president,
that does not...
just hold on. The president is a symbol of authority. I mean, a symbol of unity in the country. You are the deputy president, principal assistant. Maybe you would be held to the same standard. Does it not bother your conscience?
Not at all, because the fact that I'm deputy president does not diminish my heritage and where I come from and my language. My language still remains intact. And some, let me tell you, communication is about being understood. It doesn't matter what language you speak. You speak the language that people understand.
Even if more than 40 communities of the Republic do not understand what you say.
But they were not in that meeting.
But they're hearing it.
But the people you are addressing, we were addressing specific issues in Wakulima market. Those issues are specific to those people. You talk to them the language that they understand most, so that you agree.
You've just told me that the Wakulima market is not just the Kikuyu community. There are other communities that trade there.
I spoke 70% in Swahili.
Yeah.
And 30% I spoke in Kikuyu, because the majority asked me to speak in Kikuyu. We have some mothers there who don't understand Kiswahili properly. We have some old men who have lived there in that market who have not lived in that market for a long time. And they told me, our son, we want to hear what are you telling us? What assurance are you giving us? And when I went there, I talked to them in my mother tongue for them to vote for Governor Sakaja. It cannot be when they are crying, when they are complaining. I cannot talk. Well-wishers who are supporting her. I have cheered that I was so brutal.
Yeah. Is
to stop the humiliation of the deputy president.
Okay. Deputy President, I think you've made that a point quite clearly. But tell me, even as you move ahead to now manage the broad-based government, you're out of the president's diary, you're not getting communication on the events he's holding. How then do you even coordinate the cabinet committees yourself? Have you chaired the committees since the reconstitution of the
No,
cabinet?
no, I have not. I chair cabinet committees, and we used to have 6 cabinet committees. We have collapsed them into 2. We had a cabinet meeting, I think, on Tuesday, and we agreed we have 2 committees, one on governance, one on production, and I'll be chairing those committees unless advised otherwise. And those committees have been very good, Sam, and part of the work that I've done for this country and for the president. I've held 35 cabinet committees since we were sworn in, and we have prosecuted.
You said how much? How many?
35.
35
cabinet committees, and we have prosecuted 333 agenda items. And what those cabinet committees do, they are very, very thorough and very, very interactive and very, very exhaustive, because we even invite PSs, we invite CEOs, we invite technical people, and we do interrogate business of cabinet in a very comprehensive manner, so that by the time we go to the cabinet that is chaired by the president, more or less most of the issues have been agreed on, and the president gives his thinking and he gives his direction, and sometimes he agrees, sometimes he doesn't agree with us, and give it to him. Where he doesn't agree with us, he convinces us and we get convinced. And the president, in my view, did very well to set up the cabinet committees, because the